Hello and welcome to episode 740 of the Our Lady of Fatima podcast. It is my pleasure to be with you this evening. My name is Terrence M. Stanton. We are recording on Monday, December 11, 2023, in the year of our Lord Jesus Christ. Let us begin with St. Alphonsus Liguori's Monday prayer to the Most Blessed Virgin Mary to obtain holy perseverance. O Queen of Heaven, I, who was once a miserable slave of Lucifer, now dedicate myself to thee, to be thy servant forever. I offer myself to honor thee and serve thee during my whole life. Do thou accept me and refuse me not, as I should deserve. O my mother, in thee have I placed all my hopes. From thee do I expect every grace. I bless and thank God, who in his mercy has given me this confidence in thee, which I consider a pledge of my salvation. Alas, miserable wretch that I am, I have hitherto fallen, because I have not had recourse to thee. I now hope that through the merits of Jesus Christ and thy prayers I have obtained pardon. But I may again lose divine grace. The danger is not past. My enemies do not sleep. How many new temptations have I still to conquer? Ah, my most sweet Lady, protect me, and permit me not again to become their slave. Help me at all times. I know that thou wilt help me, and that with thy help I shall conquer, if I recommend myself to thee. But this is what I fear. I fear that in time of danger I may neglect to call upon me and thus be lost. I ask thee then for this grace. Obtain that in the assaults of hell I may always have recourse to thee, saying, Mary, help me, my mother, permit me not to lose my God. So, friends, in the midst of everything that's going on in the world and all the upheaval and also what's taking place in Ireland, it seems like many folks on the Emerald Isle are fighting back for the rampant and ridiculous mass immigration and hostile takeover of their country. I wanted to share a few words about the great Irish people, and this is entitled The Last Word by Father David Sherry, the District Superior of Canada, in the Angelus magazine. The Angelus billing itself as the voice of traditional Catholicism. A little bit more about that. The Society of St. Pius X is an international priestly society of over 700 priests. Its main purpose is the formation and support of priests. The goal of the Society of St. Pius X is to preserve the Catholic faith in its fullness and purity, not changing, adding to, or subtracting from the truth that the Church has always taught, and to diffuse its virtues, especially through the Roman Catholic priesthood. Authentic spiritual life, the sacraments, and the traditional liturgy are its primary means to foster virtue and sanctity and to bring the divine life of grace to souls. The mission of Angelus Press. Angelus Press, in helping the whole man, tries to be an outlet for the work of the society, helping them reach souls. We aspire to help deepen your spiritual life, nourish your studies, understand the history of Christendom, and restore the reign of Christ the King in Christian culture in every aspect. And this is the November-December 2023 edition of the Angelus. Father Sherry begins by saying, Dear reader, an atheist was visiting the west of Ireland and endeavoring to make himself understood in the local tongue. When it came to saying, hopefully, he bridled, for the only way to express that adverb in the native language is to say, with the help of God. No, he was a conscientious atheist. He couldn't do it. This isn't fair, he complained to a local. I shouldn't have to mention God if I'm an atheist, and I just want to say hopefully. The man considered the stranger for a moment and then said, If you're an atheist, that means you don't have any hope. Touché, in any language. Irish is a metaphysical and theological language. Try saying, I took the train yesterday. Boring. Say, I took the train in God instead. You're speaking Irish. Do you still honor Woden, Thor, and Venus? How about this? Friday, Venus's day, is the fast. Woden's day, Wednesday, is the first fast. And Thor's day is, you've guessed it, between the two fasts. My personal favorite, however, is the word for Mass. In other languages, that word invariably comes from the Latin missa, which means dismissal. The great Gaels of Ireland, however, with their customary knack for getting to the heart of the matter, disdain this trend. They call it the sacrifice. Perfect. Faced with conclusive evidence of the manifest predestination of the Irish people, you might reasonably conclude that, in a foreshadowing of Vatican II in its eternal springtime, Pope Celestine and the missionaries he sent to that blessed isle would have forthwith enculturated the Catholic faith. You would be wrong. Turns out even the pagan Irish had nothing to teach the Christians, but rather had everything to learn. The true God was not called Crom or Lug or any of the other denizens of the Celtic pantheon. He is Deus, or De in the mouths of the savages. The Mass itself was not translated into the native tongue or interspersed with war dances or invocations of earth goddesses. Not even the somewhat loose marital mores of the pagans were suffered to remain as they were. There followed not the abolition, but the purification and refinement of the ancient culture by Truth himself. And where pagans had sacrificed their children to demons, now priests, virgins, and lay people lived temperately and justly and piously. Why, it's enough to leave an atheist speechless. Thanks to Father David Sherry for that. May the good Lord richly bless Ireland. I'm seeing some good things that are coming out of there now. There's still some fight left in the Irish, and when they rediscover fully that their Irish roots are, in fact, Catholic roots, and bound up with being Irish as being Catholic, and especially return to the traditional Latin Mass, to praying the Rosary every day, to fidelity to our Lord Jesus Christ, then Ireland will be able to truly move forward. And that's the same route that every nation on earth has to go. We have to acknowledge the social kingship of Christ. We have to acknowledge Our Lady, and we have to acknowledge that the only way forward is by mass conversion and reversion to the one true faith. Let us conclude, friends, by once again mentioning helping autism through learning and outreach, available on the web at halo-soma.org. Also, please tune into episodes 277 and 548 of the Our Lady of Fatima podcast for more information pertaining to RPM. That's an acronym for Rapid Prompting Method, which is a system of communication for non-speakers. Before my niece was 8 years old, we didn't even know her favorite color. Now we know that she is a comprehensive genius. And I'm not saying that lightly. I truly mean that. She composes music. She's a poet. She's a mathematician. She knows foreign languages. She has all sorts of talents and abilities that we knew nothing about. But because of the Lord's grace, her hard work, and the hard work of her family, she broke through to open communication with RPM, and now we know all these things. Communication is a human right. Imagine how sad and frustrated you would be if you were unable to communicate with your family, even the most basic things like what your favorite color is or what you want for lunch. They had to guess as to what your wants and needs are. No one should have to live that way. So what RPM is doing is taking non-speakers or people who have difficulty in speaking, getting them out of that world of silence and into the world of open communication where they rightfully belong. So let's do our part by spreading that website and those episodes of Our Lady's podcast far and wide. Thank you so much for doing that, and thank you so much for listening. Please tune in again to the Our Lady of Fatima podcast next time. Goodbye, and God love you.